Hello and welcome to the channel. Welcome to 2D6 Realm, episode 1. We're kind of getting started here, getting set up. Done most of the work I need to do so. 2D6 Realm is created by Toby Lancaster. His link is in the description. And we are continuing with Shrubland, myself. At level 10, we've completed the main dungeon and have switched to realms. We'll bring the PDF over. Now, you don't have to complete the dungeon to switch to the realm. You can kind of do both at the same time. And I went all the way through the dungeon first because I didn't get the PDF until I was already quite a ways through, and I just figured I'd finish the dungeon and then switch to realm. Realm is overland crawler, so recording of it is going to be a bit different. In the realm here, we have quite a bit to look at. We have 3 goals: explore the land, claim and build a realm, and work towards going to the legendary dungeon. The way I think of it is like when you're young, you know your home, you know your school, you know your store, but you don't really know anything in between. So you know the roads, you know, hey, there's a forest over there, but you don't really know what's in it. So with our overland mapping, we're going from just traveling between homestead and town to fully mapping out what is actually around us in detail, claiming plots of land, and then building on it, building our own realm, our own city and things. We're also going to be searching for components to create mythical armor and a fabled weapon, so we have a better chance in the legendary dungeon. We got our rewards here. We got this wand, the Wand of Detris. This wand allows you to cast Sunder, Fireball, and Lightning Strike once per level of the dungeon. It says and, so I believe you can cast Sunder once, Fireball once, and Lightning Strike once. There are materials in the Heartland that we gotta find. That's part of the exploration, trying to find the mines, find the different locations where this stuff is at so that we can use it to create our weapons and armor. We have secrets of the land. I'm going to be switching between 2 different mapping modes. We have Tailspire. That's our setup here of our homestead. But I also have Arkenforge, which is more of an overhead map. This is probably where I'm going to do most of the mapping, and then switch to Tailspire for combat and detailed exploration of buildings and everything. And when we get into here, we have a turn. Realm is turn-based. Each turn is divided into 6 rounds. You keep track of these up in the corner. I put it in the corner here. Round and month. It takes 6 rounds to create 1 month, which to me means each round is 5 days, so that would make a 30-day month. In a round, you can explore a new plot or plot area, begin construction or upgrading, discover a site, or return to resolve an encounter, visit the High Actuary, which we, like our town, the town that we've been returning to after our dungeon in the previous series. That town still exists. We're just building our own realm, starting off with our homestead, and the town, I suppose, is part of our realm. The High Actuary is someplace else. That's where we're going to be paying our taxes and everything. We can explore the dungeon, which we've completed our dungeon, so we can't really go back into it. It's done, but there are many other places to go. There are layers that we can visit and do once per month. And while we are in the dungeon or lair, it counts as just 1 round of the realm. We can also visit the town once per turn per month. Yeah, right there. 1 turn represents 1 month. And then there's steps for exploring the new plot. There's a lot of rules here. I've gone through all of them. I'm probably still gonna forget things as I'm doing things. But we have unique, which is 1 square. We have area, which is going to be a few squares together, and then there's a string like a river that will go through several, and you just count the information up in the top corner of the room. And generating the land is probably going to be done similar to how I was doing generating a room in 2D6 Dungeon, where I generate it and build it off camera, and then we'll just encounter everything on camera. Of information about drawing icons and sample icons to look at. There's expanding. When we encounter a plot of land, we check it to see if it's already claimed or not. If it's not claimed, we can claim it. For the realm, for tracking everything, we have many lists. I have most of them transferred over here. So as we encounter land, we fill it in here. These are transferred from the PDF here. We don't redesign anything. We have our building register. We have unclaimed land. So if we find land that's we're not able to claim right away. We have houses and manors. We have secrets, which are 3 different types of secrets to find. There's also legends to find clues to. And then there are the list of landowners here. So that's lots of things to discover as we're going through here. When we start making our mythical armor, we fill in the information here. And then we have our fabled weapon that we can fill in here as we're building that out. And the character sheet is here. It's just directly transferred over. The money, gold pieces, silver pieces, and copper pieces are mirrored. So if I edit them here, they will update on the main page here as well. Or if I edit them here, they'll update there. So it's one page for that. And then, of course, our notes and other inventory. We still have the gods listed out here, which ones we have favor with. But those are the underworld or underground gods, not the surface ones. The surface only has Palantir, who you track right on the front page here. Our realm has a passive and negative influence that will list out. We also have a wellness and a temp wellness, and our total income. That might be rearranging some of these as we play to give us more space, trying to shove the maneuvers and armor pieces in. And also at some point magic scrolls was really small and difficult. We'll see how the text there works on full screen, because it might make the character into its own page. And we still have all of our enemies up here. We have calendar now. There are also events. We have a New Year's banding. We have Garla Bright celebrations. We have the plague, and we have the Ballad of the Heath King. So as those happen, we will encounter them. We also have lots of buildings to look through and get built to create our own little town and city. Eventually being a realm with a lord. Well, our title will switch from governor to lord. Several ranks to it here. Titles 1 to 40 plots, which we have our homestead as our first plot. And then we switch to dignitary. Then if we have 121 plot areas, we become a lord. We have construction things. We have land modifiers to building cost. But when you encounter the land, first time you encounter it, you get to claim it, challenge ownership, and figure out if you're capable of owning it yourself. And then you map it out and you find out what's in the place. So if you run into a monster on that land, you have to defeat it before you can build. There's all that. Right, and there's different details on each thing. Finishing a turn, following actions are completed at the end of your turn. Collect income, pay taxes, restore health, check realm awareness, and modify unrest. Roll for monthly event on the event table. Check for yearly events if at the end of a year by rolling on the year event table, which you don't have to worry about that one for a little while since we're in month 1. It's a 12-month cycle. We do have the year tracker there on screen. So at the end of round 6, every turn, lots of the realm ledger that you see here is basically all the information that I've put around our window here on the main screen, and then our secrets and everything is on the pop outside. We have event of usage. You can create your own decor improvements to increase your realm's wellness by using event of usage. As you explore the land around your homestead, you will find a range of objects and resources which you can utilize to improve your realm. This improvised event of usage item can be recorded on your realm's ledger sheet in the wellness section. Okay, wellness is going to have to get bigger, as it doesn't give you very much space in here for wellness. I guess in the positive, I guess the whole thing is supposed to be wellness. You have a wellness score, and then you have a list of positive, negative things. So I'm probably going to switch those around. We'll put the score up at top, and then give us more space to list things. Or maybe even give the positive, negative its own pop out with listing what they are. We'll see. We'll make some changes to the layout. Then we get into some of the lore about the gods, how the surface only has Kalidor the creator, while the other gods were, what are they called? I called them underworld gods before, but that's not right. The subterranean gods are the ones that we have been dealing with. Now we're on the surface, so a lot of explanation on this one. This is the initial setup. We have some advanced combat rules. Some of this stuff doesn't really take effect until we have our fabled weapon and going into the legendary dungeon. Different types, we don't really have to worry about that at the moment. We get to create our own maneuvers. Normal runes can be applied to the fabled weapon, but only after the weapon is completed. Up to 10 runes can be engraved on a fabled weapon, and normal rules apply to it. Armor enhancement tables, Legends of the Heartland, that's where we get to find these. No spoilers, we're not going to jump into them. We have some new rules, which we're already level 10, so the experience points balance isn't going to help us a whole lot anymore. If we kill creatures that are lower level, we don't gain XP, which I feel is good, especially if I'm running into like level 1, level 2 creatures that are going down in one hit. I don't get XP for those, fully understandable, but I feel like level 9 creatures, level 8 creatures, those still pose a bit of a threat. I feel like I should get something for them, even though I'm level 10. It's alright. Basically, we're locked in at XP that we have at the moment, most likely not gaining any more. Loot lockup is now at our homestead, and we pretty much can put anything we want in there, including scrolls and potions. We're supposed to continue to keep track of experience points past level 10, which, like I said, we're probably not going to get very much. And when we liberate prisoners, we can recruit them. Instead of rolling on the normal table, you can check and see if they're willing to join the realm as a worker. We have unknown text to identify. We have a few new herbs and some mushrooms. And there's some ancestries, which are optional. So with a lot of more lore behind them, we can dig into that. I don't think I'm going to pick one for my character. Then we have more lore and our map. So we are in the Heartland. The Heartland is mostly flat. We have some mountains in the distance. We have forest around. We're going to start building our realm in the Heartland. More lore, formation of the world, battles, the humans, goblinoids, iron trolls. Lots to dig into as we explore and discover, encounter different peoples. And then there's the spoilers, which we're not supposed to know yet. The numbers, or the letters here at the top of these tables, we're not going to read them at the moment. As we discover our secrets and things, which was this one? We will get our letters from these secrets and legends, and then we'll be able to pick which table we're learning from based on the first letter of those. We'll see how that works as we discover them. Got multiplayer rules now, but I'm continuing solo. And then there's the glossary. So let's see. A chunk of land over here, which is the same size as this, because I was thinking about using this to build as well. It's going to get really big and probably kind of laggy, but I'm going to use Pale Spire for building my town. I'll build up buildings as around here so we can have something to travel to, and then we'll also have combat and everything in here, with Arc and Forge being the main mapping. And this is actually quite large. This is a battle map. We can zoom right in here. I could do combat inside here as well if I wanted, but as we zoom out, the squares change there. So now that I've spent forever going through the rules and everything, let's do a couple rounds of the month and see what happens. Okay, for round 1 here, we explored out this way, and it is out in front of our homestead. We ran into a 3 area wide fields, and what we encountered as you walk across the plowed earth, it is clear the previous owner had worked the land but had never sown any seed. It is clearly very rocky, and you are surprised to see some of the revealed stone is marble and granite. You then spot some manifold granite and realize this is a site of an old ruin. It's long destroyed though. The manifold granite can be sold on for 3d6 plus 30 gold pieces in town, or used only once in crafting a mythical armor or fabled weapon. The plot area remains being a field. We are going to claim this area. It will be, I've already added that to the note here. So I rolled to determine the type of land, and then I rolled the encounter land. I did not determine ownership yet. The plot is only 3 squares, so we don't have to worry about the 5 plots or more rule. To determine ownership, we gotta roll a d6. If you roll a 1 or 2, the land has already been claimed by another landowner. We have a 3, so there is no claimant on the land, which means we can claim it. Let's get our land open here. Got all that filled in there. It is a fields type. There are 3 squares. Rank is 6, and there's no modifiers on it yet. Therefore, we have 18 silver pieces in taxes. In the details, we found some manifold granite, right? Manifold, yes. Now we don't have any building points yet, I don't think. Okay, each plot has 100. So this plot area is 3, so we get 300 build points. And then as we start building, putting buildings and things on this plot of land will reduce our building points, because each building requires a certain amount of space. I can show an example of that. The size of the alchemist laboratory is 10, so you would subtract 10 from that, build that guy. And that would be round 1 of month 1. We're going to continue to explore here for round 2. I think we'll come over and check out this space and see where we go. And it was just 2 blocks. There we go. And what we find was there was once a small settlement here, but only mounds of lichen covered rocks remain. But some of these rocks have been used to build a barn, which is itself ancient. It looks as though it has been used recently, though. You can explore it by rolling on this table. Now, I didn't check for who owns it, and we're supposed to do that before we do this. So, nobody owns it, which means we own it, because we're going to add that to our claim in just a moment. The barn is rotting. The beams above are unstable. It cannot be used. But as you go to leave, you spot a sack in the corner. You can run for it, roll a d6. On a 1 or 2 support tips and hits you, lose 2 HP PL. The PL in this case is per level, so we would lose 20 HP. 3d6, you reach the sack, but it falls apart. There's nothing inside. And 5 to 6, you grab it and run, roll on the BT2 table. So let's try and get it. I mean, we could just leave it behind. The building is unable to be used and unstable, so we'll probably just come back and knock it down and build our own stuff. We got a 3. You reach the sack, but it falls apart and there's nothing inside. And I've modified our tip a bit to include the rank, the buildings, and any other extra notes we need. At the moment, we don't have anything. We'll add to it a unstable room. So let's get our log updated. Okay, so we've claimed that. I feel like I'm missing something. Let me continue to review the book and the rules. Make sure I'm not forgetting something. We need to track how many plots of land we own. I think that's actually what the title claim area is. How many plots we own. I gave it a title, Mistar. Title claim, I called it my area. Let's give it a number next to that name. Now we have the homestead, 3 fields, and 2 hills. So we are up to 6. Let's put that up there. Let's put the land log away. Get rid of the hills area. Just reviewing there. For round 3, what we're going to do is start construction. I want to get rid of this broken barn and make something useful. Let's see, what kind of building do we want to start with? What's our first building going to be? I don't think it matters. Building in the hills, there are no modifiers. Building in the fields, a building costs 20% less and starts with extra hit points. I want to get rid of the ruined barn first and get a new building put there. So we have a list here. Now we're going to take a look at what we want to build, and then the card itself will go into further detail as to what's required for that. Get a house or a farm, but in the hills I think a house might be better. Lookout tower would be nice too, which there are 2 chunks of hill, and they're both the house and the hills they don't take up a whole lot of space. The fishery would take up a whole entire square. A farm takes up half a square, so you can have 2 farms on 1 square. That's nice. There's a mine and a quarry that takes up half a square. Another quarry there. Let's see what we're required for a house. Let's put a house in the hills. Requirements, nothing. Plot requirements, none. It provides 2 workers. We can upgrade the house to get extra there. So let's take a look here at the card. We're going to put that in the hills. So we will reduce the space left in the hills by 10. And I'm sure if my numbers are wrong on the building points, somebody will tell me. We're not running out anytime soon. Next, we do need to see the building page. So let's close the log and open buildings. Buildings is a bit tough here. It doesn't say there's an income from a house though. It just gives us some workers, and we need workers for other buildings, right? Let me see. Putting it on the wrong place. We don't have an income. Okay. So the house itself does not provide an income, and it seems that only certain things provide income. Workers here is how many it requires. 0. And then, okay, so we start construction by putting 1 HP in here. The house itself requires 6, which means it will take a total of 6 rounds to complete the construction. While that's working, we can start another building on the next round. We'll put that in there for now until I get something better for marking the end of the health. Let's put the house card away for now and our register. That way we can keep this little box here, and that will be our house. We'll add in here that we are building a house. And now we have to subtract the cost of the house, which was 20 gold pieces. For round 4, we're going to continue around. We're going to eventually fill in the rest of our land around the house here. We do gain a tick for the house on round 4 here. So let's get that in here. Let's see what kind of land we have. Actually, I've been doing things out of order. So let's continue that, and let's see if there's a claim already on this piece of land before I even generate it. It is not owned by anybody, so once I find out what it is, we can claim it. So back in a moment. Right, for round 4, as we should, we have a shrubland, and it was 5 plots large. And in this shrubland, we have, as we start moving through it, as you move through the area, you find that there are extensive goat trails that lead through this inhospitable landscape. The area is full of dry, thorny bushes. You manage to make your way through, though you lose 1 HP per level. It leads to a mound of rocks that is clearly a cairn. As we move through, we come to the cairn here, and We're gonna step inside. We step into this cairn area here. And this is not a tomb, but some kind of ancient storage room. There are huge aphoras here, stacked along one wall. These are full of wine, each taking up to 5 large slots and worth 5 gold pieces. It doesn't specify how many, it's just stacked along one wall. Not like unlimited, I'm assuming there's a number. And since they take up 5 large spots and we can carry 10 large heavy items, we could carry 2 of them out and back to Homestead. For those of you that don't know, amphoras are ancient tall Greek or Roman jars with 2 handles and a narrow neck. Something I had to look up because I didn't know. There, we got 2 of those in our inventory. We can put that back away and then move back to home here. So we can return that to the homestead. All right, for the start of round 5, first thing we do is gain production on our building. So let's add to that. 3 more rounds, we'll have a house, which will give us a couple workers. We're seeing some things we want to add. I didn't update the title claim area number. We added 5 more onto that. Brings it to 11 area. And let's see what's beyond the fields here. Come out to the bottom. We'll explore this way. Map it. Spend 5 days doing that. Give me a moment. Let's see if it's owned by anybody first. It is not owned by anybody, so it will be ours. For round 5, we continued our building and explored south of the fields here. What we got was rocky area. Rocky areas are only 50 build points. This was a 4 plot area, so we're going to get 200 build points from this. And the area I found was, although much of the land is rocky and uneven, there are areas of shrub and bush. There are even a few trees and hidden hollows, and the land becomes uneven. At one point, a scar runs through the land and reveals a cave entrance. You can explore the cave, refer to places to explore section, and we have a cave here on the map. I believe the cave is someplace we do on next round. Explore a discovered site. Yeah, the cairn and the barn were part of the thing. It didn't say refer to places to explore on those. So explore a discovered site. So the cave is something we can explore next round, which I think I will. For now, let's get this into our sheet. I didn't put shrubs in here. Let's get the shrubs added to our sheet, because I forgot that last round. We have that on here now. Anyway, we'll put that land log away. Now that we have it there, we get to increase our title claim by 4 spots, bringing us up to 15. Yeah, I don't think it was supposed to be named. Anyway, my realm is called Mythstar. Alright, we're going to keep it like that. Alright, we'll destroy that thing. And so for round 6, we're going to explore a cave. We do get to add to our house though. Getting close on the house. For the places to explore, we are going to go back to Tailspire and do some exploring. Okay, we're back in Tailspire for our map of the cave. We enter into the mouth entrance here. It's a 3x3 with 3 doors. And we explore the cave the same way as we explored the dungeon. We go room by room. It is a small 15 by 15 square area. So let's head this way first. And pass into this next cavern room. It is a 4 by 6 space with 1 exit. It is a fungi growth room. There are several soil deposits in the dips of the rocky floor, and a range of fungi have thrived in the damp and dark environment. Most are inedible and look poisonous, but it might be worth searching the space. That's small. You can have a search through these and see if there is anything of use. Roll a d6 to see what you find. 1 to 2, a musty bloater rises from the earth. You must fight. 3 to 4, Podniak mushrooms. 5 to 6, 1 Orzili mushroom. We have a musty bloater. The musty bloater. Animated by primordial magic, these swollen fungi shoot hot spores at their victims. They lumber forward, raising up and swelling from what appears to be a flat mound or mildew. For maneuvers, they have a spore spray, 5-3, which is blocked by both the Great Helm and the Long Gauntlets, making for not a fight, really. Because they have a d6 -2 with the Long Gauntlets, that becomes a d6 -5, and we heal 1 point of damage every time we're attacked, so he can't actually hurt us. But this fight is over before it begins, although we'll hit him anyway. We'll go with round 1 of combat here, our turn. We have a 4-5, and it's easy to change the 4 into a 6 with 2 shifts, and the 5 into a 4 with 1 shift to create a ferocious strike. 2d6 plus 10, 16 points of damage, and that slays him. He's a level 1 creature, so we don't get the XP. We do get d6 spores. There's 4 spores there. Let's get that in here. I'm still carrying the wine around. I was supposed to drop that off at home, but that's fine. We got all kinds of garbage here in our inventory. Let's put that back away, and card. I didn't even look at his interrupt. What was his interrupt? His interrupt was a blinding spore cloud, primary 3 4s and 5s, -1 damage. So that didn't even apply because we shifted to a 6. Head on to this exit and see what's beyond. Stepping through this opening, we find a hidden camp. A section of this room has been cordoned off by a leather screen, but quickly it is drawn back and a figure emerges. It looks tough and has short blonde hair and scars around her neck. She wears loose black clothing. It is Talonbriar. Roll on the Talonbriar table. If you have encountered her here before, then -2 from the roll. Checking. 7. Hey stranger, she calls, and you explain your presence. She seems cautious. Maybe the Baron did mention you. Tell you what, if you pay me 10 gold pieces, I'll whisper good things back in his ear. If you do, +1 to your next land inquiry table roll. He slaps you on the back. See you around. That means the beckon for if it's claimed or not. We get a +1 on our next roll. There's nothing else here, and it's a dead-end room. So we have to go back to the start room and head this way. We'll step into this room. And we have weeds. The weeds here are thick and tall. There's where a shaft of light breaks in from the long chute above. You can search the area. Roll on the plant search table. At the 10, there is a random collection of herbs here, enough for 2 doses of each. Roll 3 times on the herbs table. Right. Yeah, right. Let's do 3 separate rolls at once. 2, 5, and a 6. Coma stems, Scarlet Orvatus, and Zoomer seeds. 2 of each. There's just 5 of these, and 3 of those. Okay. Let's put those away. And all that. And all these. This room had 2 exits to it. We'll continue straight to the north. We'll step into this room and we discover 1 exit way here. It is a dank cave. This room has a high ceiling, and as you look closer, you see a rippling surface of bats. Ground underfoot is soft from bat droppings, and the air smells acidic. They seem to be asleep, but you might disturb them. Roll d6 now, and anytime we return, add our discipline. On a 4 or less, you trip on some concealed twigs, and 2 giant bats swoop down and attack. Otherwise, you creep through undisturbed. Now, we have a +7 discipline, but we can't fail this. We'll creep through undisturbed and find out what's through this exit. We'll step into this space, and what we got is a ruin site. This space has been stripped back, and ruins have been scratched into the walls and ceiling. Your torch casts them in sharp relief. You can recognize some, but many are ancient. You sense an energy here and step in. If you step in, roll d6. Find out what we got. We might have to fight a land spirit. A ring of gold materializes and falls to the ground. Okay, it mentions a torch, and I just realized I don't have a torch. So we've probably been exploring this in the dark with no light source. It is a cave after all. It just came from the dungeon, and I'm not used to having to specify that we have a torch. Let's see. We do have a lantern. Okay, we're safe. We have a lantern to use, not a torch. That's what we've been using to see, is the lantern. So let's see if we're attacked by a land spirit or if we find a gold ring. A land spirit it is. This spirit is pulled from a dying person whose body has been consumed by nature and given physical form by the presence of low magic. They shimmer in and out of reality. For maneuvers, they have a cold touch and a scream. Cold touch is a 2/2, is not blocked by anything, and the scream is a 4/5, which is blocked by the Great Helm, and after Shroud's Curse would be blocked by long gauntlets. So it doesn't really matter. Both are a -3. So cold touch is d6 -1 and scream is d6 -3. For interrupts, they have ethereal body on primary 1s, 2s, and 3s -2, which is only going to affect our twisting stab. Top of round 1, our turn. We're starting with a 2/4. With 4 shifts, 2/4, we can add 4 onto that 2 to make it a 6. Create a ferocious strike, 2d6 plus 10, 14 points of damage, which is just enough to kill the land spirit. And the spirit has no treasure, and he's only level 2, so we get nothing from it. Now it did say that after you notice one minor rune on the wall, you can copy. But it doesn't tell me which one. Does that mean I get to pick one? What's a minor rune? We're going to save that information for later, after I do some research. We're going to copy that rune, but I will find out which one it is later. This room only has the one exit here, so we shall go through that. Alright, we'll step in through this way, and what we find is a small corridor with a door off that was only 1 block away from the weeds room, which then we continued on straight. Then we entered into the final room of the cave. For a final room, we have some steps here. First, we roll on this table, which is what we got, the state in which you find it table, and the creatures turn to face you is what I got. What creatures? I rolled 2 heath wolves, and we have a -2 on the other table. If we're victorious, we roll here. I already rolled it just because I was ahead. Since it said to get a -2 on that roll, I just did that, and then I came back to the final room, and it's like, if you are victorious, we're gonna win. They are 2 wolves. So our cave final room treasure table. There's a stash here beneath some straw. Roll on d6 to discover what's inside. We will do that after our fight. Heath wolves are native to the Heartland and have lived there for millennia. Their fur has taken on the color of green gorse, and it affords them very effective camouflage as they stalk their prey. For maneuvers, they have bite and claws. Their bite is a 1/5. It will start off being covered by the Great Helm with primary 1s, and then after Shroud's Curse, we can swap that 5 and 1 around to be covered by our breastplate, making that after Shroud's Curse being a d6 -4 and a d6 -3 to begin with, and claws is a 3/4, which will be covered by our long gauntlets. And then with Shroud's Curse, we can make it covered by our Great Helm, but that's -3 either way, and it's already at a -2. So claws is a d6 -5, meaning claws don't deal damage to us because of our
+1 healing. It is a level 2 creature, so we won't get any experience. They only have 10 hit points. They have an interrupt of quick dodge on primary 3s and 4s, a -2, which we don't have any maneuvers with a primary 3 or 4. So, chop around 1 our turn. Starting with a 2-1. We can take 2 shifts to change that 1 into a 3 to create a twisting stab. It is 12 points of damage. That will bring the first one to dead. That gives us fearful momentum for upon killing a creature on the first round of combat. The next creature has fear for the next round. Combat round 2, I gain a +2 to my shift. It is the other wolf's turn for round 1. I just realized my combat round is behind my cards. Definitely gotta rearrange that. I just swapped the 2 sides with all the year and income information behind the card, and yeah, that'll work. For now, we continue. The wolf has a 4/4, and he has 1 shift. 1 shift changes that 4 into a 3. Create a claws attack, d6 -5, so it doesn't deal any damage to us, but we do heal because we've been damaged from the Shrublands. We got hurt, so we gain a hit point back. Drop around 2 our turn. Now we have a 3/3 with 4 shifts. We can use 3 shifts to completely annihilate this wolf by changing that 3 into a 6, and 1 shift to change this 3 into a 4 for a ferocious strike of 2d6 +10. 17 points of damage. And that will bring him to 0 and dead. The Heath Wolves have no treasure, so let's put their cards away. Figured since you can't see the combat rounds, why change them? There's a stash here, release some straw, roll a d6 to discover what's inside. With a 6, we got 2 doses of Clarion Tea. So let's put that on our card, and I guess that's a tea, so it can go under food and drink. And put that away. I want to see. Yes. Clarion Tea is one of the new herbs for the realm. It is brown-edged rubbery leaves on a light green stem with pungent flowers. This can provide some relief to your stressed workers. For every sack of Clarion Tea, gain 1 temp wellness for 1 turn, and it's stackable. So since we got 2 doses of Clarion Tea, I'm assuming that means we got 2 sacks of Clarion Tea. And that brings us back to the starting room, the mouth of the cave, and we can exit. That was round 6. We are still on round 6 because we have to do taxes and all that good stuff. Let's look at our cards. For the land, we have all of that stuff. Let's not look at that one. For the houses, yes, we had counted our health for this one. It was round 3, 4, 5, 6. Got us up to 4 health out of 6, and 2 more rounds into month 1, and we will have our first house complete. So let's put that back away. Come back to the land log. Let's do some math here. We have 40 silver pieces needed to be paid for taxes. Bring us down to 282. That's not too bad. It'll be good once we start getting income off of these properties. We'll move back to home. We paid our taxes. What else do we do at the end of the round? All right, finishing your turn. The end of round 6, you collect your income, which we don't have any, at least not from what I could tell at the moment. We pay our taxes, which we did, and we restore health. The end of round 6, you can restore your adventurer's health to max. And then check realm awareness and modify unrest. See the realm ledger sheet section. Roll for a monthly event and check for yearly event if it's the end of the year, which but it's not. So we have to check this and that. It says realm awareness, but I think it's supposed to be realm wellness. That would make more sense. Your realm wellness begins at 0. Apply any modifiers, even if you have no houses or manors. If you happen upon something that may adjust realm wellness, this represents the type of environment your new arrivals are coming into. We haven't had anything that knocked it down, so we're still at 0. So I suppose I put 0 in there, huh? Let's roll and see what we get for our monthly event. 4-2 resolution. If you have lost a worker in a house or manor, they return or someone else moves in their place. This only applies to one house or manor. Well, that doesn't help us at all for month 1. We don't have a house finished and we haven't lost anybody. I suppose it could have been worse. Alright, that is the end of month 1. We will change it to 2. Put our rounds back to 1, and we will return here for our next episode next week. I'll make some adjustments to our screen overlay. This was first run with this particular one, so I'll have to make a few adjustments and get a little better as we further explore the realm. Thank you for staying till the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you more next week. Until then, have a good night, good weekend. Bye for now. Okay, after closing everything and telling this to do some updates, we had this. You notice one minor rune on the wall you can copy, and I was like, I didn't really know what a minor rune was. All I had to do was look in the book. There is a minor rune table that I get to check. So here we go. 4. A rune of Wolfbane. Produce a high-pitched sound that disorients wolves. +1 damage against Heath Wolf. Nice. We will save that for next session.